to Moturd. Today, or over the next several days, we're going to work on a few more projects with the WR450 dual sport project we got going. The main thing that we're going to be doing is installing a Trailtech radiator fan. I also have a USB thing that I want to route for charging a phone, and maybe a couple other little cleanup items here. But to get started, I just took off the seat, took off the right side fairing here. I popped this loose because I might do something else, but and we're gonna need to run some wiring up there as well. But yep, this is the start, and now we need to get this little shroud off here. Alright, so let's see if we can figure this out. Oh, that's really easy. It just pops right out, kind of louvers in that way, and then pull it towards the front and out. Okay, so the directions say basically cut off this little nub right there and drill a 9/32 hole through it. So let's do that. And try to use these really crappy tin snips. See if that, yeah, they're not even getting close to the surface there and completely uneven. Hyper Tough is absolute garbage. I'm never buying another thing from them. Let's try the old kitchen shears. That cut way more flush than the tin snip, so I would definitely use that. Let's try a razor blade here. Not working. That actually worked pretty well. Alright, let's drill the hole. Alright, well, I don't have 9/32 drill, but according to this, it's in between a quarter and a 5/16. So I'm going to try a 1/4 inch right now and see if that'll work. I believe this is the bolt that'll be going through it, and 1/4 inch is bigger, just barely, than that 6mm, so it might be a really tight fit. I don't know. If it doesn't work, then I'll try the 5/16, or maybe I'll even go out and buy a 9/32, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't seem that critical, but let's find out. Alright, so I don't really have a good center punch, so I'm going to use these center drills. Get started here. Say to clean up any burrs with a razor blade. Yeah, top here. All right, next step is a little unclear. It says put in the M6 clip nut on the center ear of the radiator with the threads threaded side of the clip nut facing inward. Well, inward doesn't exactly I don't think that's the best description, but I believe that it is going to go like this. So with the threaded side towards the front of the bike. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, then it says loosen the inner right-hand radiator mounting bolt 2 to 2.5 turns. Don't go too far, or you will not be able to get a wrench onto the bolt to tighten it once the fan kit is installed. Pull the rubber insulator away from the radiator ear and slide the fan kit bracket between the radiator ear and the inside face of the rubber insulator. Push the fan kit bracket in towards the radiator at a downward angle to clip the fan bracket over the rubber insulator and onto the radiator. Wiggle the rubber insulator to ensure it is fully installed in the fan bracket C notch. If it will not seat properly, loosen the bolt an additional half turn. Try again. Do not use oil and grease. You can use soapy water. All right, well, that's clear as mud. Let's try that. Okay, so I guess we do this one. It's like an eighth, quarter, 3/8, half, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 1 3/4, 2, plus a little extra. Okay, so based on this picture, looks like this right there is what's gonna hook in between that rubber insulator and the radiator ear. That's what it looks like. I have kind of separated it already. Might need to loosen that nut a little bit more. I'm gonna loosen this a little bit more. It showed it hanging off there pretty good in the instructions, so let's try that. I don't plan on installing this fully right now, but I want to do a dry run because that cooling hose is right there. The frame is right there too. How are you supposed to? Sure how you radiator hose is right there. I didn't reroute that or anything. That's where it's supposed to be. So let's see if we can move that. Okay, so I basically just disconnected it from the radiator right there, so I can pull it back and free, and hopefully that's enough room. I'm going to clip that into position or something. Okay, that clipped out of the way. Let's see if that gave me enough room in here. It's crazy tight in there. Can you see how? How are you supposed to hook this up and over while still? I mean, the frame is in the way. It's not even a component or something. It's frame. I just took the bolt all the way out to see what I was working with here. And this rubber insulator kind of goes all the way through, actually. Like, it's not just on the side. I'm just going to get that barely in there. And I'm going to try to put a screwdriver to hold it open a little bit. Now, it's almost on there. Wants to go. It's like, you can even see that. It's like partially hooked on. It wants to go over. But that rubber seems to be... There we go. Yeah, I think take that bolt all the way out. Looks right on these two. It's lining up pretty well, so I think that's about it. Boy, it's going to be a monumental task to get that bolt tightened. Can't really hinge it out of the way to get a socket in there. It's really not on as far as I would like it to be. Okay, I went and grabbed the flashlight so you can actually see how it's kind of hitting. It's actually hitting the bottom of that little rubber grommet, so that's why it's not slipping on all the way. I think if I pull that rubber out towards me a little bit more, I can get it. There's no way you're going to be able to see anything, but grab my little cheapo Harbor Freight pick. I'm going to try to slip that rubber. There it is. So yeah, it definitely slips into place. You can tell once you've got it in there. And I don't know if you can see, but see how it's nice and round and not pinched anywhere? That's what you're looking for. And it'll sit there without any support. It's in there now. So that's what you're looking for. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see, but I basically just pulled that back a little bit. I'm going to try, but it's still in the correct position in regards to the rubber. So I'm going to try to tighten that bolt as much as possible to cut down on the work I have to do with the wrench, because it's going to be a bear getting in there. That did work, but this is how the instructions say to do it. You have to get your wrench on that nut back there and be able to tighten it. Man, it is. That's gonna be a problem. So I moved it back and then tightened it some more with the ratchet. Now you can see the rubber is starting to kind of grip on the black bracket behind there. So we should be almost there. It shouldn't need too much wrenching, but it's still, man, it's tucked back there. Can't even get my open-ended wrench on there, and they say, oh, take off the gas tank, and that might give you a little bit more room, but not much. Yeah, I might have to grind this down a little bit. It's like too thick to get in there. Alright, well, I even removed the tank, and there's no way this is actually going to work, so what I'm going to do is undo the fan from the brackets. Well, actually, I don't even need to undo these. The lower one is kind of obscured by a connector thing. Put it together. Okay, well, that didn't work at all, so we are back to doing it the way the instructions tell you to, and if you can get, like I showed you earlier, where you kind of pull it out of the way and then you get your ratchet on the bolt and get it as far as it'll go before it slips off, then if you have a thinner, I'll show you. This is what I was originally trying to use, and then I went and grabbed this one. You got to have a pretty thin wrench, and I am actually able to get a tiny amount of movement in it. Kind of having to flip the wrench upside down. You kind of got to push hard too to bend the plastic of the housing out of your way. But I mean, literally, I'm fighting this thing so hard. There we go. Flipped it the other way. And I'm gonna flip it upside down again, push it. I'm getting like not even an eighth of a turn out of this, but it's almost tight. I'm hoping this. Okay, that's really tight. Hoping that's the hardest part. Okay, now we're gonna do the fin, but it's kind of cord wasn't perfectly in the right spot. Sneak it up there. I think we're gonna go. We're right in here. I'm gonna get the grease that came with the kit. Okay, so here's the grease that came with it. Gonna put a bunch right there. On both sides here. Okay. I'll zip tie that wire out of the way shortly. Okay, so now it says to remove that bolt. So we can put the little readout in there, I'm assuming. Goes somewhat like that. We kind of stretch right there. Yeah, so like I thought, the wires are too short to actually get all the way up there. So I guess I'm going to have to cut that zip tie right there to give me a little extra room. Now, I wish I had cut this while it was off the bike. Made things a little bit easier. And that didn't give me any... are you kidding? It's the connector on the other side of it. That's super annoying. Oh no, it's just another zip tie. Well, that's what that looks like. Now that can fit into there. There's no way it would have fit into there before. I'll just clean up the wiring with some more zip ties, I suppose. I can't even get in there. My ratchet. I don't know how the heck I'm going to screw this thing back in with the bracket in the way. So we'll figure it out though. Just like I thought. It's a good squeeze right there. Okay. I'm going to take... Man, everything is fighting me today. None of this has been particularly easy. There's that. Trying to have one finger on each side. Rotate that. Get it started. And of course it's not liking that. Put a socket there. And spin it a little bit easier. Yeah, that's actually working. So I have the socket held this way. I'm using my right hand, and then I'm using my left hand to turn it. Get it started. Now, Nice. Little bracket does fit in there nicely. To admit that. It's cranked on there, never to come off again. That just leaves this bad boy power, final piece of the puzzle. So let's see where we can route that. Okay, so as you see, I went ahead and just moved the whole tank out of the way. I think that's going to make things easier. Now, to do this, I'm just going to go kind of a slit in the back of this rubber boot right there. See it open back there, so I want to try to get it through there. Save myself. There we go. Okay. Got it through there. Now, through right there. Now we need to go under here. Go down this way. Okay. It's pretty long, so I think I'll have it coming up this side and then swooping over. Yeah, that seems right. And come out right there. Sorry for the camera there. I'm sure it was terrible. Okay, now we gotta figure out how to fit yet one more connection in here. Positive and the negative. If it sits like that, it's gonna get pushed by the gas tank, pushes right into that. We'll use that washer. Positive boot's not really doing anything at this point, but well. Hey, I got everything hooked up here. I did already test it, and it does work. So I'm just gonna hold this, but I ran this wire right there up and swooped over there. I'm going to try to clean up the wiring a little bit and get it away from the radiator as much as possible. Alright, first thing I want to do is get the power connector kind of up and out of the way there, and I actually want this to stay vertical rather than twisting again. Stay away from the radiator, so I think okay, grab some longer zip ties here. I'll take these. Tie them like that. Okay, now I'm gonna take this and kind of loop it to take some of that slack out. I'm gonna tie these together. Okay. Zip tie somewhere back there, then we should be good. Just gonna zip tie it to the main harness here. Okay. That should be pretty much it. I'm not actually gonna finish the video here. I've decided to go ahead and install a Quadlock charger while I have the seat off and the gas tank and everything. So I'm gonna do that, and then we will complete this project. So just ordered those. I will pick up when I receive them. Okay, so after I installed the fan and I had everything off, I got to thinking, I really would like to get to the point where I don't have to use this switch to turn on and off the running lights and all the street legal stuff. Some people online said that they had tapped into the headlight relay, which is this one. So it's on the right hand side if you're facing the front. It's right behind the gas tank here. And what I found was this blue and brown, I think, I don't know, I'm colorblind, wire actually controls when the headlight comes on. Then I traced because it's just two reds on the tusk harness here. So I traced each one, and the one that plugs into this like light greenish wire, it has the bullet connector on the battery side. Basically, it goes straight back to the battery. I traced it right back to this connector right here. It's this middle one. So if you put a little connector here, run a wire over to the relay here. I've already tested this. The accessory lights, all the street legal stuff will come on once the headlight is on. So I'll show you in just 1 second. Okay, so once you loop into that, fan, I went under here, around here, whoop, right onto that blue wire right there, and then you can unplug the other one. I'm going to wrap these up, and I have my tripod with me right now, but you can see the lights come on in the reflection. Watch this. Brake, of course, blinker. Okay, so let's go over what we've done so far. We installed the fan. We know that that is working correctly. We figured out the headlight relay so that the all the DOT lights come on properly once the headlight comes on. I have two more things we're going to do here before we button everything back up. One uses this right here. I went ahead and got a Quadlock wireless charger. I've started setting it up here. Vibration dampener, of course, because it's needed. And the last thing we're going to do is I was able to find this pigtail right here. Oops. S844 by Standard, apparently. And it fits the back of this so that we can have our Highbeam on switch. Of course, I'm going to leave the headlight always on, but I want to be able to use the Highbeam when I want to, so that's going to be the final project here. Okay, as you can tell, I'm being lazy and not taking the tank all the way off. I don't know why. It'd probably be easier, but I don't feel like draining it right now. I think I'm going to center mount this Quadlock. Let's do that first, and then we'll figure out wiring. Okay, so after finagling around, I actually don't think I'm going to use that extender arm thing. I think I'm going to mount it just like this. The vibration dampener gives it just enough clearance, so I think that's what we're going to do. Okay, so arm has to swing under. Whoops. Have the cord coming out the back towards the wiring, towards the headlight back there. I'm going to try to find that Allen key. Should have done that. Okay, why don't I take this off so that I can. I'll leave this most of the way done, but just loose enough that I can still adjust it. I get everything mounted how I want it and try to center it as best I can. Now we can put this on, make sure everything's lined up. Take a look at it from this side. Little off there. Isn't it enough? All right. Get it from this side. Yep. Okay, so I ran the wire here down through the middle right there where these other cables go, throttle cable. So that put it out in the middle right there. Oops. And I followed here down underneath the radiator connector thingy right there. And then it came out right here. I'm going to zip tie it, of course, but followed that there, through a little slit right there. And I'm not even going to need the extenders that it says you're going to, so I think we're looking pretty good. Okay, it's not going to be perfect or pretty, but it should work at least. I have heat shrink that'll fit over those, that's why I'm not putting it on now. Actions done. Let's see. Be one. And what did I do with the other one? Not the proper size of heat shrink, but it's all I had that would fit into that connector. So that's what I have to do. Ooh, negatives. Sense. Alright, I'm gonna add a little bit of tape. So, let's see a little bit more. I don't know if that's gonna work or not, but we'll try it. Won't hurt anything. Guess I can't cover them up all the way because I need to know which one is negative still, but I did confirm that they would fit without clipping the sheathing, but I think that's just going to be easier. So now, I already had these loose. That off camera, that's why they're... Geez, I got all kinds of connections going on down here. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One's the fan. One's the main negative, of course. One is the trickle charger. One is for the street light kit, of course. Why doesn't this one go in? Okay. You want to redo this to make this on this side. Lose my stack. Okay, found a just barely bigger bolt. Of course, my tools are all buried now. Push that up with that. Let's see. Okay, now at least that is a little bit more cleaned up. Put the strap back on while I'm thinking about it. Trying something a little bit differently. I put the little pads in the front this time. There was a little bit more room behind the battery. If that's gonna do anything for me, but I wanted to at least try it. Okay. Something like that. Now I won't be able to show you. I do have a red light there. That means it's on. I won't be able to show you me trying it, because obviously it's on the phone. So let's try it. Okay, can confirm it does work. So I would say that is a success. Now let's figure out that headlight. Okay, I am extremely happy with this because I just had the bike on. That's why the headlight is on, as you can see, which is normal. And the accessory lights are all on too, or the DOT lights. And watch this. When I flick, not the headlight, but the high beam, now I have high beam control, and I have always on, so I won't forget headlight, which I would be the one to forget. So what I did was I grabbed that this standard thing, and then I'm gonna turn this off so we don't run out of battery here. I did from the positive on the factory harness, I looped that into, and I'll clean this up a little bit, I'm just gonna show, into a wire nut with the positive regular headlight here and the black wire in the tusk harness, so that gives power to the light switch. Okay, so from the positive on your new headlight receptacle thing into a junction with the black one from the tusk switch back here. Then I took the top, so the high beam portion, and connected that to the blue wire from the tusk here, right here. And then finally the negative from the headlight into the negative of the factory harness. I think that is how it's going to work. Now I just need to clean it up, make it look nice, plug everything back in, and then I think we are ready to go. Okay, so I got everything down except for that. That all looks good. Put away. So the fan has the middle. You have to put that bolt in right there through that clip. And I did have to drill the hole a little bit bigger, but that was the only thing. So now should be when I start this up, all of the accessory lights, the DOT lights come on. And I should have Highbeam control. So let's do this. Sweet. I am very happy with that. And I'm going to take it out for a test drive now. Woohoo! Okay, I recorded that wahoo without the microphone, so that might not have sounded the best. But I just got back from my second test ride on dirt, and everything seems to be functioning pretty well. So while it's hot, I'm going to change the oil. Okay, I forget if I've done the oil change on the channel before, but start, I gotta remove the skid plate. There's 3 8mm bolts, 2 on the front and 1 underneath. Yeah, I actually think almost feels like oil, but it seems like coolant too. I didn't notice that the other day. I don't see any. Oh, shoot. You see it. Got a leak right there. Huh. Yeah, it's not much, but shoot. Now it's going to need a new gasket. Okay, got my drain pan in place here. Should be 12. I grabbed the 13. Whoops. you want it to drain all the way, you gotta take out the little checker knobby thing here. Guess I could have done that before, but see how it comes out again a little bit faster. This is your dipstick. Yeah, of course I made a mess. I guess go ahead and just leave it. Leave it on the kickstand, because that's on the side. Okay, so now we're on the other side of the bike, the right-hand side. And the second oil drain, what you gotta remember to do is that one right there. So I think it's better to have a wrench, honestly, rather than trying to fit your pocket in there. Some toasty. I'm gonna put the phone down. So that is cracked loose. We got a nice steady stream. And this is the part you're gonna wanna make sure you stand the bike up for to get all the rest of that out on this side. See it increase the flow a little bit. I'll probably lean it pretty far over, honestly. Oh yeah, there we go. I just have my wheel, twisted to the left. I have the whole bike leaning towards me until it. Oh, I gave it a little shake, and look how much more came out. I guess I'll give it some more. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, now it's pretty steady dripping. Push that. Oh, look, the other side had some more now too. After I shook that. So keep your pan at least close to where the other one is still. Okay, so now you need 5mm Allen. Crack that loose. Grab a an old extra dirty towel. Stay. Better than nothing. Okay. Position this. We're getting a little bit. Come on now. All right. That's about how much patience I have. Now we got it stood back up. We'll take out these two other 5mm bolts here. I believe both of these are shorter, so you don't have to worry too much. Nope. So the extra long one goes here, the short one goes here, and the medium goes down here. Well, it does look like, no, looks like there's a lot of pressure going on with this old one here. Keep an eye on that. All right, I'm gonna use these Scotch shop rag things just to clean out that extra little bit here. Okay, and when you put this in, you want the hole out like that. Okay, so once the filter's in, we can put this back. Now I'm not changing out the gaskets. They still look okay. And I did not take out my longest one, but the two passages go, what is that, like 10 o'clock and 7 o'clock there. The longest screw goes back in here. The shortest screw goes back in here. And the medium drain bolt goes back in here. I'm just going to get that barely snug, just so it's not freewheeling. Okay, so now they're all medium snug now. Go ahead and tighten down. I'm not going crazy. Right about there. Okay, once we got the filter back in, put our drain bolts back in. Yeah, I'm not using a new washer. And apparently these are supposed to be 14 foot-pounds, but I'm not too worried about it, so I'm just going to give it the old college try. Well, I did it without getting a ton of oil all over this. That's cool. All right, let's go to the other side. Okay, back on this side. And again, I am not replacing washer. I'm just going for it. "14 foot-pounds, not really that much. So don't go crazy on it. Again. Okay, and of course this is your oil fill there. I like to use funnel. And I'm going with the Lucas in weight 50. It's supposed to take 1.1 or 1.2 quarts when you do the filter. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe I won't put all of it, but I'm going to put most of it. I probably have 50 milliliters in there, if that. Okay, so I did end up letting it run. Oh, it just turned off, but man, that fan moves some air. Sweet. All right. Back to this. I'm hoping that looks a little better this time. Probably overfilled it, which means I'm probably going to have to crack. Man, everything is so dang hot in here. Bike runs hotter than Satan's rear end. Oh yeah, I think I'm pretty overfull. Well, actually, I'm right to the top. I don't know if this is going to focus or not. Right to the top, and since I have that very small leak on the other side, I'm going to call that good. And I know for a fact that any extra will come out of the breather tube, because when I first bought it, my airbox is just full of oil. Ow, man. Yeah, that is not the most fun to do when things are pipe hot. Okay, so there you go. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.